it's your call.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Woot.
Woot, we're live, and the only person here is Joey.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. It's our weekly live show. We are back. I know you all are probably like, "Well, where's the new co-host?" She had something to do tonight. A work thing came up, so she'll be with us next week. But I've got my good buddy John with me. My name is Eric Mitchell. I am your host for the evening. My buddy John is here, and he just got back from Batu, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. Oh, here's Zach. Do we need anyone else? Well, Joey, I thought that you would join us, but you know what? You're just going to be a bump on the log tonight. So you're going to be like Yoda just watching Luke head into that cave on Dagobah. Too soon? Even though it's 40 years old? Is it too soon? Anyway, awkward silence tonight.
I wasn't sure where you're gonna go with that.
Yeah, no, that was where I was going. That's it. You bump. So, John, you just got back from Batu and Disney World for the first time since you were 6.
Yeah, actually, I have a correction to that statement.
Okay.
I talked with the parents. I have never been to Disney World. I went to Disneyland when I was 6,
Oh,
which explains why everything when I went this time did not register at all.
of
So
course.
I'm like, I don't remember that like at all. So yeah, first time at Disney World ever, and Disneyland was when I was 6, which was like eons ago. It feels like so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to yes, Zach did bring us the snacks tonight. So you went to Disney World. It was it was a whirlwind trip because you were only there for 3 days. Um, Technically 4 because you flew down that Friday night. But I mean, for the 3 days, I mean, how was your overall experience before we get to Batu? How
Mhm.
was your overall experience?
I can report that in those 3 days, we walked more than 40 miles,
Yes.
and I burned right around 6,000 calories just from walking in those 3 days. Because God forbid, we put park entrances close to anything else in
Yeah.
that park.
Yes.
Just and then the transport. Oh, you want to get close to the main gates by taking the Disney transport? Yeah, you have to walk another 2.5 miles.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's kind of insane. Like, uh, it's it's a combination of like the sheer skill and talent that Disney has collected through personnel over the years.
Hmm.
Their engineering teams, the people behind the scenes that come up with these crazy ideas and find ways to make them work. The first night, or the first day, I should say, when I was there, we started at Animal Kingdom,
Hmm.
and we got in early, and the first thing we did was go to Pandora and ride the Avatar ride,
Hmm.
Passage of Flight or something
Flight
like
of
that.
Passage.
Flight of Passage. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
backwards.
It's okay.
And like Avatar was a movie I saw 5 times in the movie theater because
Mhm.
like it visually it's stunning. And to go to an area that is literally built like that movie,
Mhm.
has the floating mountains and everything, even though they're not real, it's a steel structure underneath, in the vines and everything, but still just visually absolutely stunning. Just the
Mhm.
way the ride immerses you into that universe
Mhm.
and everything else, like it's just absolutely freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So we started out with that very first trip, and that kind of set the tone for the entire weekend.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of being blown away by like what Disney World and just Disney theme parks in general have become, in the 20 plus years since I was there last.
Yeah. Pandora was definitely interesting, like when we did it too, because I mean, you're just blown away by like the sheer just wonder of it with the floating mountains, and then seeing all of those waterfalls and everything. And then when you get onto Flight of Passage after the 2.5 hour wait,
Oh
and
no,
then
oh no. I
oh
didn't have a
yeah,
2.5 hour wait.
I
We
know.
got there early. We no fast pass or anything. We walked onto the ride.
Nice,
It was insane.
nice.
Because
But
like
it,
when we got out, that line was already an hour and a half long.
yeah, and it was probably by the Lion King Theater, heading
Oh
towards
yeah.
Africa. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much.
But yeah, like Pandora is so cool to go to. And they have it's just such a neat experience. And then you did Galaxy's Edge that day also, right? So you went from
We
Animal
did.
Kingdom. But that's right. You got you also got stuck on Expedition Everest at the end
Yes.
of the ride.
Yeah. So a sick fantasy of mine is to be stuck on a roller coaster. Because my idea would be like, I want to get stuck someplace cool in a roller coaster. Like
Hmm.
uh at the top of a lift hill, uh, like in the middle of a corkscrew or something. Or in Disney's cases, because they don't really have anything that goes upside down or is anything too extreme,
Yeah.
uh, you know, on Everest, I want to be stuck in that part that the train comes to a stop and you end up going backwards,
Yeah.
or the part where you stop and you see the Yeti and the tracks switch, so you go forward again. Which, fun fact, I did catch how they do that. It's literally on a rotating drum and just
Hmm.
does a complete 180 flip for that track instead of just. I hit the microphone. Instead of just like moving the tracks like that, it's a full 180 flip, which
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's where I wanted to get broken down at, because then we get to climb through the actual structure when they turn the lights on and get to see,
Hmm.
how the ride was built and like what it looks like on the inside. But no, instead we broke down about 30 feet away from the exit station. So we had like a 30-foot walk to the end, but we got a free fast pass out of it. So I was pretty happy.
Hey, nothing. You can't beat that, dude. You can't beat a free fast pass out of that. Um, I will. I've ridden Expedition Everest once, and that is the only time I'm gonna ride it. Um, it's not like a scary ride. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
I mean, now granted, the ingenuity and the storytelling for a roller coaster is absolutely incredible. So then you went to Hollywood Studios after that?
No, we actually made the mistake of going on the dinosaur ride.
Oh, you didn't
The
like
one where you,
Dinosaur, did you?
um, it was definitely a 1970s ride. Um, and after I was able to find my eyeballs after they were rattled out of my head,
Yes.
um, and all my other body parts that fell off during that ride, because smooth is not the word I would use to describe that ride at all.
Dinosaur is not a smooth ride at all.
I like I swear I still have bruises on my rib cage from that ride. Like it was like I got off that ride and I'm like, I feel all weird on the insides. Like
Yes.
if things are not where they're supposed to be
Hmm.
after all of it. Um, it was an interesting ride.
Hmm.
It had a unique concept to it, but I would
Hmm.
not willingly, in a clear state of mind, choose to go on that ride again.
Yeah, I can see that. It's it is a brutal ride. You do get the crap beat out of you on that ride. My wife,
Understatement.
yeah, Eve loves that ride. So like whenever we go
Oh,
to Animal Kingdom, we always ride
how?
Dinosaur. Um, John's asking how you love that ride. It's just fun.
It
And she
hurts.
likes dinosaurs.
It's physically painful.
It is physically painful, especially when you're in the front.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you're in the front of that ride, hold on. I mean, Zach knows because he was on one of the trips and like we got beat up. And Zach also knows that Expedition Everest beat us up too. I think that was the day when we were done at like 5 p.m. and just went back to the house that we were at.
Call it quits at 5. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Physically can't feel anything from my nipples down.
yeah.
Like everything is numb. You know,
Exactly. Exactly. Like it just feels like all of you is just left behind on that ride while the rest of you's exiting the park. Um yeah, it was I'm glad that you got to experience that though. Um
experience. Yeah, that's a great word. So we also did the Harambe safari tour, which was really
mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
We got stuck by an ostrich that decided to cut in front of the bus,
Mhm.
um relieve itself in front of the bus, and then sit down. And
Nice.
we're just like, you want to get out of the road? Like, I was like, obviously the ostrich was from Maryland because it wasn't moving, but it
Oh.
was just one of those things where we're just like, get out of the road. We're trying to move it.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Hey. Um, yeah, no, the Kilimanjaro safaris is really, really cool though, because just like how they created that whole savanna there at Animal
Mhm.
Kingdom is really neat. And then you got to see some of the lions and everything, and hitting it early morning or like later in the afternoon, like towards dusk, you actually see more activity, which
Oh
is
yeah,
pretty cool. So that was cool that you were able to experience that. Now, was Cali River Rapids open or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
Um, because we didn't spend a whole lot of time in Animal Kingdom
Hmm.
because there honestly really isn't much there.
No,
Um,
there really isn't.
in comparison to like some of the other parks.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, we're pretty much done with that whole area by like 12,
Yeah,
12:30.
yeah.
And the weather, so we picked the one weekend where Florida was not having Florida weather. I fly down on that Friday and it was
Hmm.
pouring rain. It was cold. It
Yeah.
was miserable. That Saturday was 55 degrees, and winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour. It was just miserable. It's like,
Yeah.
Florida, what the heck? And then like it was like, oh, it's gonna warm up, we're on asphalt, it's gonna get hot. It didn't.
Yeah.
And half the party dressed appropriately, the other half did not. So before we park hopped, we went back to our room
Hmm.
and we all changed clothes because we're like, all right, well, how are we going to prepare for tonight?
Yeah.
And essentially just made the change, and then we went off to Hollywood Studios via the Skyliner, which was a lot of fun.
Yes, the Skyliner is fantastic. We rode that a few times when we were down there in May. The funny thing about the Skyliner is it opened what a week after our honeymoon, like 2 years ago. Yeah, we were there as they were testing it, and like we saw groups like going through, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not up yet." And then like a week after we get back, they're like, "Hey, guess what? The Skyliner's up now."
Of course,
Yeah, and
the,
but
the Skyliner is funny because they have that Disney propaganda that they play on it while
oh
you're
my
flying over.
goodness.
Really enjoyed the thank you for riding Disney's Skyliner. Did you know Walt Disney had an affection for Florida's wetlands and
Yeah,
wildlife?
as you're
Did
going
you
over
know
a
that
parking
Walt
lot.
Disney World has the largest wetland preservation in Florida?
Hmm.
This is something that Walt really wanted to focus on by building 40 square miles of theme park on Florida wetlands.
Don't
Like,
forget
I just,
hotels.
and hotels,
Yeah.
hotels and resorts.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just thought that was really funny that they were just like, oh, Walt loves wildlife and forests. And also, did you know it's 40 square miles of park and resort? And it's like, that's very ironic. But
As
yeah.
as you're going over a parking lot that's connected right to a
Yes.
wetland.
It's like you're literally over wetland for like maybe 10 seconds,
Yes.
and the rest of the time is like highway, road, and then like 80% parking lot, and then you're in Hollywood Studios.
Yes. Yeah.
Insane.
It is insane. So you park hop over to Hollywood Studios and then you got to experience Batu for the first time. And I I have to ask you this question. I know you and I talked about this, but since we're live, I do have to ask these questions again. How overwhelmed were you when you walked in there through Muppet's Courtyard?
It was, I was pretty giddy.
Yeah.
Like going through that tunnel and seeing like slowly change over to that landscape.
Hmm.
Uh, yes, my friends were making fun of me. And there's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of taking everything in. Like when you first walk through that tunnel into Batu,
Hmm.
um, it's really nothing too crazy yet.
Mm-mm.
Like it's Rise of the Resistance on your left. There's like a droid cart selling soda. And there's a couple things here and there. But other than that, like you haven't really gotten to the main like,
Hmm.
bread and butter of that area. So it's like it kind of like slowly brings you into like that immersion. Um, and then once you got past that part, it kind of slaps you across the face like a wet noodle. And you're just like, oh, like you're in this like marketplace. And like there's all these stores around, and then you have the cast members that are dressed up like people who live on that planet that are working at the Black Spire outpost. And they're fully immersed into what's
Yeah.
going on, and that was really cool. And then coming out from that marketplace, rounding the corner to your left, you have the place where the Ronto wraps are sold, which is really cool.
Hmm.
And then you take like 3 steps past that, and you see like the first sliver of the Millennium Falcon, like right
Hmm.
there. And like that was the moment that like hit, and I just kind of stopped
Hmm.
in a middle of a packed amusement park, and like you're allowed to not wear a mask outside,
Yeah.
which was so like I just kind of stopped, and like my jaw hits the ground. It's just like trying to take in and comprehend that this is a real life scale Millennium Falcon, like right here in front of me, that I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes.
Hmm.
Uh was absolutely insane.
Hmm.
It took a while to actually like sink in that you know that's like not the shit, but like is literally a 1-to-1 scale
Hmm.
of that ship. And it was, I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, like that moment alone is enough to just like break you down. You
Yeah.
know, it's intense. It's so intense.
Hmm. It really is. Like I remember when we walked in there for the first time, and we saw the Falcon, like our jaws dropped and tears just started just flowing because I mean they made it. Like they made a real Millennium Falcon. I wish the thing flew because I would take that thing for a spin in a heartbeat, but I mean it's a real Millennium Falcon. I mean, it's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. And like you even get like the pistons and stuff that like
Oh yeah.
every once in a while. I mean, it's wild. Um I asked you this before as well. Did it feel like a pilgrimage? Like as a Star Wars fan, did
Oh
it
yeah.
feel kind of like a pilgrimage? Like you had to do
100%.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously, we grew up with our childhood
Hmm.
like in the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Episodes 1, 2, and 3 were kind of like, our coming of age Star Wars movies.
Hmm.
Uh and it's like, at that point in time, most of us have already seen 4, 5, and 6, so like we understand what's going on, like we get it, but like kind of like grow up with that. It's like our parents had 4, 5, and 6, we had 1, 2, and 3. Now the current generation's got 7, 8, and 9.
Hmm.
It's just one of those things where it's like, if that's something that resonates with you, it's kind of like the same thing with Harry Potter.
Hmm.
Like if that resonates with you, if you're able to make that emotional connection in your own personal life, in your childhood, like as you grow up, obviously it's going to have like a special connection to you for your entire life.
Hmm.
And parts of it felt like I was on Tatooine. Like parts of it
Hmm.
felt like this is where, Anakin was building his pod racer, or
Hmm.
building R2, or building whatever,
Hmm.
you know. And it was just really cool. Like, yeah, I get it's set like in between episodes, 7 and 8, or is it 8 and 9, whatever.
8 and 9,
But
yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, it's just like it has that same style, so it really connects with you regardless of which movies you grew up with.
Yeah.
Um, so it just kind of hits you like that. It was just kind of like, wow, like I've always dreamed of wanting to go to like Tatooine or to Coruscant or to name your, Star Wars planet.
Yeah.
And like this is like the closest thing to actually doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head with all of that. And it feels so much like home too, just because of like how immersive it is.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you want to live there. Like you want to interact with these people like on a daily basis. Um, so tell me what you guys did on like just go ahead and tell me the rest of this trip, especially with the Batu stuff and everything. So go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. So we did most of the stuff on Saturday,
Mhm.
because Sunday we had the VIP tour that I'll
Mhm.
touch on later. But Saturday from 2 p.m. until I think it was like 11 at night,
Yeah.
we were in Batu. Like that was what we were doing. We did Smuggler's Run first, which
Mhm.
was really cool. Um, and I was an engineer the first time,
Mhm.
which I liked because that's where you get to press the most buttons.
Yes.
And who doesn't love pushing buttons? Like, come on.
Exactly.
Uh, that was a ton of fun. Absolutely loved it.
Mhm.
We got a pretty high score, so I'm just saying, if you want to get a high score in the Millennium Falcon, talk to your boy here.
Yeah.
So that was cool. After that, what did we do? We stopped by Doc Ondar's, and I kind of took in that whole experience.
Mhm.
First off, they massively undersized that room. It needs to be like twice that size.
Yes.
um,
It really
but
does.
but that was really cool. The line to see the legacy hilts for the lightsabers were like out the door and wrapped around the corner. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Um, we got lucky. We had reservations for Oga's at 9:45 p.m. We got one at like 5 o'clock also.
Mhm.
Um, so our lightsaber experience our at Savi's was at 6:25. And they're like, okay, well, you only have 45 minutes. We were in there till 6:15. Like we were in there for over an hour
Yeah.
just drinking. Like every drink on that menu I had. Probably not the best idea before you go build a lightsaber, but hey,
No.
you know what? We're winging it.
Yeah.
Um, and it was great. The music was great. The
Mhm.
bartenders were immersed in everything as well. They had really corny Star Wars dad jokes, which I thought were great. They had little skits they did too, like when the power goes out and they're banging the hyperdrive and everything, trying to get everything back up and running.
Yes.
Um, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying one of the mugs.
All right.
Yeah.
Show us.
Which is now available on shopdisney.com,
Yeah,
so you
it
don't have to,
is.
so it's the Battle of Endor mug, which is the uh Yup Nup, right? Or Yubnib
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, Yub Nub. Yeah, yeah,
Yub
yeah.
yeah.
It's the Yub Nub.
So that's what it came in. It's really cool. It kind of depicts the entire battle.
Hmm.
So there you have the Death Star, TIE fighters, Star Destroyers, and everything else. You have the Ewoks on the ground, the forest, and everything else. I know Joey loves Ewoks, so there's all those Ewoks on the bottom there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we won't tell you how much you had to pay for that. But
No.
they're available on Shop Disney right now for $29.99.
Yes.
There you go, Disney. You're welcome. I'm giving you free advertising. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we headed over to Savi's to
Hmm.
build a lightsaber, which was that's the moment that got me. I knew it would.
Hmm.
Fully expected it to get me, and it hit hard.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize like how big of a moment that was going to be, but we checked in. I take that back. We went to Droid Depot first, and we got the Spira credit gift card,
Yes.
which was really cool. The guy was nice enough to load it with the exact amount that we needed for Savi's. because he too was a gatherer. I asked him why he's no longer working there, and he's at the Droid Depot, and he said the one of the holes in the ceiling was his fault. So that was kind of cool. Yeah. So I thought that was awesome. So we get there, we checked in. Obviously, if you follow me on Twitter, you knew exactly what I was going to do. If you've even talked to me for 5 minutes, you knew exactly which one I was going to pick. I'm wearing a necklace that has the Empire logo on it. So obviously I went with peace and justice.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, totally. No, power and control is what I went with. Yeah, it was awesome. So we're waiting in line to get in, and one of the cast members out there is just talking with us, and she was asking us, "Oh, what planet are you from?" Like the kids are like, "We're from Earth," and one kid was like, "What are you talking about? We're on Earth right now. We're in Florida. This is all fake." And I looked at the kid and I wanted to be like, "Where's your parents at?" Like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she comes around, and there was another guy who's sitting next to our group who also did power and control, and she comes up and she asks me, she goes, "Oh, so where are you from?" I said, "Oh, Korriban." She goes, "I've never heard of that." And the guy next to me goes, "Yes." And I was like, all right, at least someone else gets it. Like, yeah, it's technically a deserted planet in this timeline, but fine, it's whatever. Yeah, so we get ushered inside, and I'm on the far left side, like on the end, facing straight down Savi, so I can see everything. And it's like I've watched the YouTube videos. I know what was going to happen, and it did not matter one bit. The whole thing started. The lead gatherer was absolutely incredible. That moment where like he's like showing the kyber crystals and the ceiling changes colors was absolutely incredible. I just wanted to get started. Like I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Got my pieces out, built my hilt. He came over. Which I was like, oh, I would love to just have a conversation, like to have the guy come over and like take a look at my hilt and like go for it. So he comes over and he goes, "Oh, it's a very good looking hilt. Do you mind if I take a look at it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he picks it up and he holds it. He's like, "It's a very good hilt." He goes, "But he goes, power and control." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Are these things you seek?" And I was like, maybe not. Who knows? And he goes, he goes, I think they are. I think they are something you seek. And I was like, maybe not. He goes, I may be asking a dumb question. He goes, but may I ask what color kyber crystal you selected? So this is where I kind of lied, right?
Okay.
So my friends got me a red kyber crystal when they were in Disney a couple months ago. So I wasn't going to pick another red one. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to pick a color I don't have. Well, Doc Ondar's was sold out of purple and blue.
Yeah.
So that narrows it down.
It does.
But by the time the kyber crystals got to me, only blue was left. All the purple was taken. And I wasn't going to ask them to go get me a purple one. Like, I'm not going to be that guy. So I took the blue one and I put it in my hoodie and I pulled out the red one and put it on the table. So it was red. And he goes, "Oh, I totally saw that coming." I was like, "Yeah." He looks at me, he goes, "Are you going to be someone we have to worry about?" And I was like, "Not if you play your cards right." He goes, "Oh," and he puts the hilt back down and he goes, "Well, great job anyway," and walks on. I thought it was like, I just love it. The conversations are great.
Yeah.
So after, they put it in the crystal stabilization chamber and it goes off, there's this kid next to me who's building with his dad. And the kid's vocal as anything, like good for the kid. So we ignite our lightsaber. Oh, I don't think I showed it off here. Here we go. Here it is. Here's my lightsaber.
It's beautiful.
Here's my baby right there.
Yeah.
We go with the Anakin grip down here, and this one up here just feels good in the hand too. The emitter is the split emitter for power and control, which I think is absolutely fantastic. This is the only switch on power and control I would ever recommend anybody get.
Yeah.
The other one has a massive hole on the sides, and people slice their fingers on it nonstop.
Yeah.
And then for the end, I got the one that I could put into the belt clip because you got to carry your lightsaber around because you're a badass. Hello.
Yeah. All right.
So we're gonna go ahead and do this real quick. Let me go ahead and and ignite this bad boy. You can't really see it because the lights are on.
Did you put the yellow? Or no, the red.
There
Okay.
we go. There's red. There we go. Well, we'll put it up forward. The yellow is very yellow.
Oh,
I thought it was gonna be like an orange, but it's definitely yellow.
Yeah.
I did get the white one, which sold out like 3 minutes after I got it. So that was kind of cool. Nice. So the only one I'm missing now is purple.
Nice.
So Christmas present ideas, everyone.
Yeah, I'll fly down right away.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, just do it. So there's the baby. So after we ignited it, the kid next to me had green, and he sees that mine's red, and I was like maybe one of 3 people that had red. He looks at me holding his lightsaber with the most serious look on his face. He screams at the top of his lungs. He goes, "You're a Sith! I must kill you!" And I'm like, I looked at him and I looked at his dad. His dad goes, "He's still learning." And I looked at the kid. I was like, "I sense much anger inside you." And his dad starts laughing hysterically. And I'm just like, I just remember like, anger is a path that leads to the dark side. But I didn't say that part. So it was cool though. Like I respect the passion of the kid.
Yeah.
Wanting to kill me because I'm a Sith. He just doesn't understand. We have the best cookies in the universe.
Yeah,
so
you do.
You know.
I would have told the kid as soon as he said, "I must kill you," I would have been like, "Do it."
You will try. It's like, it's over. I have the high ground because the kid's like 3 foot nothing. Yeah, exactly. You know,
don't try it, kid. I've got the high ground.
Yeah. So after that, my buddy who was building also, he went Peace and Justice.
Oh, cool.
And he went with blue. So we posed in front of the Falcon. We posed in front of the TIE Echelon. We posed in front of that area that Rey and Chewie and the Stormtroopers are at when they kind of just walk around in that one little area. And like we were doing like fight scenes and everything in there too. It was really cool. The pictures came out well because it was dark at the time also.
Yeah.
So it was super cool. Then we went on Rise of the Resistance, which speechless.
Yeah, exactly.
We got on, we go into the briefing room, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. BB-8's there. Rey shows up. I'm like, okay, this is cool. The door opens. We're getting rushed onto the transport. You walk out there. You see the X-Wing. You're like, okay, this is awesome. You get on the transport, and like it goes, and like, okay, so we're going through everything. It's like, oh, we got caught in the tractor beam. And then as soon as you like cross that like that's not a force field, but like that blue barrier that every Star Destroyer has for their hangars, like that blue line goes through the entire ship also. I thought that was a really cool attention to detail.
Yes.
And then when those doors open, they're like, this transport is now under control of the First Order. Everyone off the Resistance scum, get off the ship and proceed to interrogation. I'm just like, sir, yes, sir. Like, I get off the ship and you walk into that hangar, and then it's like, videos and pictures really don't do that area justice at all.
No.
Because when you walk out there and you see the battalion of stormtroopers right there in front of you, you see the First Order TIE fighter mounted up on the wall. And then you see like the R5 unit with the vehicle you're about to be in. It was just, and like that gigantic screen that like showed like the blackness of the universe. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. I'm just like trying to take it in, trying to take pictures because they're trying to usher you along. I wish they gave us so much more time in there, but obviously they can't. That line was like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So, we go into the next queue. They line us up. The cast members are absolutely great. Load us into the interrogation room. Again, the attention to detail was an incredible. The resistance breaking through the side wall to usher you into the ride vehicles was great.
Hmm.
Um, Seeing those AT-ATs in person, oh, those are massive.
Yeah,
Like it was just going like, what?
yeah.
Uh, it was just hard to comprehend, and like when they're shooting at you, and just again all the attention to detail they give you. Um,
Hmm.
it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
All the way up to like where you're in the escape pod and like you have a mini drop that you go on, kind of like you are being like dropped out of a ship in an escape pod, and then going back to Batu.
Hmm.
It was it's crazy. Like the ride itself seems very simple and straightforward,
Hmm.
but it's the immersion process of the entire moment from the time you get into the briefing room, even when you're standing in line before that,
Hmm.
to that last moment when you get off the ride, tells such a beautiful story the
Hmm.
entire way. It makes you feel like you're actually a part of that Star Wars story.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally does. And like even when you're getting shot at, like you feel the bolts like whiz by your head, like as you're getting shot at. That AT-AT room, you're spending the entire time looking up because of
Yeah,
just how big these AT-ATs are. Um, and then that was a life-size hangar too. That was
yeah.
a life-size First Order Star Destroyer hangar, which is insane how big it is. Yeah, hey Farm Boy, how's it going? Also want to say hey to Ellie and Ems in chat as well as Zach. But yeah, it's insane like how immersive it is. And like the ride itself is kind of short. It's getting to the ride and then the ride itself, it's like 30 minutes. Like from like beginning to end. It's like a 30-minute experience. And it's something that you'll never forget. Like I'll never forget it. And I know you wrote it a couple of times, so you'll definitely never forget it.
I
Um,
wrote it 3 times. Yeah, it
yeah,
was it was insane,
yeah,
absolutely insane.
it's so good. And like even the Finn animatronic is really cool. Like when he's getting like bogged down by like the stormtroopers and stuff, and the Lieutenant Beck animatronic, and that drop into the escape pod is like my favorite part of that ride.
Oh yeah,
It's so much fun.
like it's one of those things. Like if so, it feels like it has that same locking mechanism that Tower of Terror has.
Yeah.
And like the only thing I can say is if you're ever on a ride and like you feel that jolt and that click,
Mhm.
like you're going to drop, like you're going to move. Like you should know what's coming
Yeah.
up next, especially when there's a screen in front of you, you see the other drop pods dropping
Mhm.
and then going forward. Like you should know that you're about to have a mini drop. Um, it was incredible. It was absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. Like it felt like you were actually in an escape pod
Mhm.
trying to get off of a star destroyer. It was incredible.
Yeah. Um so yeah, life size AT-ATs Farm Boy. Like this is like
Yeah,
I mean they are life size AT-ATs. They're huge. I mean
absolutely massive.
yeah, they're massive. And there's two of them.
Yeah.
There's two of them in that room. It's huge. So you did that. You got pictures with the tie echelon. Tie echelon's really cool.
Oh yeah. So as much flack as the sequel trilogy gets,
Mhm.
um, some of the updated versions of the ships from the Empire slash First Order side look
Mhm.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely incredible.
they do.
Um, so yes, seeing the tie echelon in person was really really cool. Um, I wish they had you know more First Order
Mhm.
spacecraft there, but
Yeah.
again, I understand that more people are on the side of the resistance, which makes no sense to me, but that's neither here nor there. So it makes sense, but it is
Yeah.
really really cool.
Yeah, it is. So I have to ask you this, even though that you answered this question earlier in the week. Blue milk, you had it,
I did.
and you enjoyed it. It is sweet. It is very sweet.
It's very, very sweet.
Yes, but it is delicious.
It tastes amazing.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing is like, if you have had several sugary drinks already before you
Mm-hmm.
have the blue milk, like there comes a time when you can literally taste the sugar in everything. And because I had like, I had it at Oga's, and so like I had every drink before that
Mm-hmm.
on the list. So we're talking like what, 6 or 7,
Yeah.
adult beverages that are full of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ordered that, and it's like that's chock full of sugar. It's like
Mm-hmm.
liquid sugar almost. It tastes amazing. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it just felt like at that time I was drinking straight up liquid sugar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. But yeah, it was a lot for that moment in the day.
Mm-hmm. Um, was that night the night that you had the Ronto wrap for the first time?
No, so I had the Ronto on Monday.
Okay.
Um, so it was a hot mess, right? So we end up leaving Batu around like 10:30. We get back to the resort around actually no, we left at 10.
Mm-hmm.
We got back to the resort at 10:30 because that's when the Skyliner closes down.
Yeah.
And we crashed, and we're like, okay, cool. We'll wake up tomorrow morning. We'll do it all over again. That's when we have the VIP tour.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, literally got us access to anything we wanted. It was absolutely insane. But yeah, um, yeah, it was a late first night, and then Sunday with the tour, that was an even later night.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were dumb enough to buy it was a Run Disney marathon that weekend
Oh
also.
yeah, the wine and dine.
So we stuck around for the after party. I think that we were out till like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was brutal, but yeah. The VIP tour. First off, the VIP tour is ridiculously priced,
It is.
and there is no way I would have ever been able to afford that.
No.
Got super lucky, um, and really like everything lined up that
Mm-hmm.
this family that we ended up meeting after being because season ticket holders with the Washington Nationals, they're Club 33 members, and they get 6 of those a year included
Jeez.
in their massive membership fee that they have to have. And the guy's like, well, I can't give them away. Like nobody wants to do them. And we're just like, okay, we'll take one. And we
Yeah.
ended up doing it like without having to pay that fee, which was really super nice because I don't have a spare $7,000 lying around.
No, neither do I.
But they really do make you feel like you're the most important person in Disney.
Yeah.
We went on Pirates of the Caribbean, where we actually entered. So you have the queue for Pirates of the Caribbean. We went around to the left side of the building. We went into the cast member only section and entered through a back door and walked through an area where we literally come out right in front of the line as you're loading onto the boat. And we cut the lightning pass lane, we cut the regular lane,
Mm-hmm.
and just literally walked on to a boat. And everyone's like, where did those people come from? And I'm
Yeah.
sitting, it's like, I actually feel kind of guilty,
Mm-hmm.
like cutting the line like that hard. Like we didn't have to wait a single second,
Yeah.
and hopped on the ride and went. And it was really cool. Because like Sea of Thieves for gamers out there,
Mm-hmm.
had a partnership with Disney for one of their most recent expansions. And it was a Pirates of the Caribbean themed expansion. And some of the tall tales you did were based off of that ride.
Mm-hmm.
So, and never having been on that ride before, I'm just going on and like I'm literally connecting that game with all these scenes in the ride. And I thought it was one of the coolest experiences ever,
Yeah.
was making that connection between a game I spend a lot of time in versus a ride that I just rode for the first time. And it made that ride have an even more special connection, English, whatever, to me because of that weird connection.
Yeah. If there was any Disney property that Sea of Thieves could have connected to, it was pirates. Like it had to be pirates
Oh yeah.
because of like everything and the world building and all that. I think it's awesome that you got to experience the ride for the first time after playing that expansion, because I got to tell you that expansion was incredible.
Oh
That
yeah.
expansion was absolutely incredible. Um, you're on the VIP tour and everything, and you did Epcot, and you got to do everything. Did you
We
hit
did
all?
every park.
That's right, you did hit all
All
four.
four.
Yeah.
It was we started out at Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
We finished up with everything at Magic Kingdom. So the tour started at 11
Mhm.
because we wanted to extend it into the night, and it's only 7 hours that you get.
Yeah.
Um so we started at 11. We were done with Magic Kingdom at 12:30. That was literally 80% of the rides there that we
Yeah.
finished in that time frame. Yes, we did the teacups too. How about that? Look at that. We did the freaking teacups.
Wow.
And our goal was literally to make that thing spin so fast. And we did that to the point where people in the line were like, "Oh my god, that teacup is going so fast."
Yeah.
Uh, and when the ride came to a stop, it took us a good 10 seconds to kind of regain our footing because we were so freaking dizzy. It was so bad.
Nice.
Yeah, from there we jumped to Animal Kingdom.
Mhm.
We did all the Avatar stuff again. We went on the safari again. Then from there we jumped to Hollywood Studios. We did Rise, the Falcon. Then we did Tower of Terror.
Mhm.
And we also did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Nothing can
Um,
stop us now.
yeah, which that song has been stuck in my head for now officially a full week.
Nice.
So much that I found the actual audio from the ride in MP3 format.
Mhm.
Because in all honesty, like you can find the official Disney version of that song on Spotify and everything, but the version in the ride has a special choir ending that makes that song even better.
Yes.
And that's the part I've been addicted to. So yeah, right now the current thing is anytime I see my buddy Matt, we just random times break out into nothing can stop us now kind of thing, and it's just it's I hate it and I love it at the same time. By the
Yeah.
way, Goofy, hello, like what have they done to Goofy? Goofy looks like
Yeah.
he's like struggling in the drug epidemic. Like
Yeah.
the dude looks like he's found some of like that fentanyl and whatnot, and it's just like Goofy looks like a drug addict. Like what happened?
Maybe him and Stevie Palps got into the the PCP.
Oh my, yeah, the PCP. My God.
No, I mean Goofy's design nowadays is just not that good.
It's so weird.
Yeah, and it's creepy looking too.
Very,
Yeah,
very
very
creepy.
creepy looking.
I mean, he still has the same like personality. I
Yeah.
just like obviously they have a new artist doing all the drawings and everything for some of the
Mhm.
current cartoons that are coming out. Like right now, like Mickey and Minnie, same style of clothing. They have the red overalls and whatnot, but like it's like the overalls are like 18 sizes too big for them.
Yes.
And it's like Mickey Mouse is like the size of like your pinky finger, and he's wearing like these overalls that are like massive on him. It just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
No. And that's like Donald is the only one that actually looks decent out of those character designs.
Yes.
And Daisy. Daisy looks decent too, but
Daisy. Oh my God. That
the
ride
samba.
is the first time I rode it. Like I thought it was cool. Like the pre-show, you walk into the cartoon. I thought that was a
Yeah.
really cute touch. And like you're going through this train that is like in a cartoon. Like it feels like you're living a moment inside of a Mickey and Minnie cartoon. It was really, really cool. But that part where you get to Daisy's dance studio
Yes.
is such a random twist.
It is.
Like I wanted to hate it, but I was too busy laughing the
Yeah.
entire time. And then like when you break into the conga line on the way out there, and it's like in the ride's like dun 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 dun, and like it throws you one way and stops,
Yes.
and then does it again, throws you the other way and it stops. It was just so random at that moment
Hmm.
to have that. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
I was laughing the entire time. I thought it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the Daisy Samba thing is like one of my favorite things on that ride because it comes out of nowhere. It comes out of absolutely nowhere. But it's great. So then you finish the day at Epcot.
We went to Epcot. The last event that we did on the VIP tour, she got us into Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Nice.
Their newest ride that just opened, I believe, the week before we got there.
Yeah.
Um, the line wrapped all the way around the Paris section of Epcot. That was the longest line I've ever seen in my life. It was an over 300-minute wait.
Yeah.
Um, and we cut the line. I just uh and that was really cool. Like these RFID Wi-Fi controlled carts that are
Yeah.
trackless in these dark rooms that use a combination of black light, projectors, and everything else tell such a crazy story while you're on this ride, and the movement between the different cars and everything is just so precise. And it's a 4D experience. Like if there's water being thrown at you, water gets thrown at you, like
Yeah.
real life. It was so neat. um like I'm a thrill ride kind of guy. Like I like going upside down. I like,
Hmm.
high speed roller coasters. These kind of rides in my mind at the time, I was like, oh, am I going to like it? Am I not going to like it?
Hmm.
I love the fact that they're able to tell a story
Hmm.
and have you be a part of that story for that moment when you're in the ride.
Hmm.
That offers something so super unique
Yeah.
that really no other ride does.
Hmm.
So yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great.
Nice.
And then Epcot's fireworks were absolutely amazing. Best fireworks I've ever seen. And that says something. I worked in baseball for like 10 years. I've seen a ton of fireworks. I think they're highly overrated.
Hmm.
At Epcot, definitely not overrated at all.
No,
Absolutely incredible.
no, they're not. I've seen the video for Harmonious, and it's incredible. It's incredible just to see it. Um,
But just real quick, I know Rural Farm Boy mentioned this.
yes,
So when I had the Ronto wrap on Monday, it was the breakfast Ronto wrap.
that's right.
And then I had the lunch Ronto wrap because, fun fact, they close at like 3 o'clock.
No, they do.
Um, which makes no freaking sense, but they do. But for breakfast, we had the breakfast Ronto wrap
Hmm.
with a Coruscant cooler, alcoholic beverage, which was Oh, that reminds me of that story now.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll end it with this because I know I've just been rambling on about this entire
It's
thing.
fine.
Um, so we're sitting there, we're eating the Ronto wrap, which is absolutely incredible.
Hmm.
Have the Coruscant cooler, and this family behind us. The mom leans over and asks what we were drinking, and we are like, "Oh, it's a Coruscant cooler." And she goes, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Why is it so red?" And again, this is right up my alley.
Hmm.
Eric already knows because I told him this story
It's
earlier,
great.
and I apologize. If you're a Star Wars fan and you like a little dark humor, here you go. And I said, "Oh, well, the reason why the Coruscant cooler is red is because it's stained in the blood of the younglings from the purging at the Jedi Temple." And I said it with a straight face, and I slowly turned back and took a sip. Um, and the look on my friend's wife's face was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that." There's a child at that table also. And I'm just like not even phased by it. Like, and the look on the lady's face was like, "Oh, um, I was not expecting that."
Yeah,
And I just went about my business. Like I didn't even think twice about it. Just there you go. Yeah.
that's such a great story. That's such a great joke too.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Um, I'm glad that you had a good time though,
I
and
loved
I'm
it.
glad that you were able to experience it. And it just makes me more excited for when all of us get together and go in like in a few years, like we're planning on doing. let's get into some news, shall we? Because this was what were you going to show?
No, I was just raising my lightsaber like I was about to activate it or something. It's like,
So let's get into some news, shall we? So they dropped a lot this week. They dropped a lot of news. Oh, that's right. You did get your
the
Sith holocron
holocron, yeah.
also.
I was like,
Yes. Um,
yeah, sorry.
no, you're fine. So they dropped a lot of news this week. So let's kick things off with Monday, where they announced that Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie is now indefinitely on hold due to scheduling conflicts with her. So this frees up the December 22nd, 2023 release date that Rogue Squadron was originally supposed to go to. And this will actually lead into our next news topic here, which is a rumor that Disney and Lucasfilm are pretty much talking about doing a High Republic movie and an Old Republic movie. And I think that we should just branch these together because they're kind of like in the same boat here. So say that they go forward with this. So now we have this December 22nd, 2023 release date that's open for them to do whatever they want. What movie do they go with first? I know that you're probably going to say Old Republic that they go with first, but I mean, what makes sense to go with first? Or is this going to be a completely different movie with a completely different director? Is this going to be Taika Waititi's movie? Is this going to be the start of the long awaited Ryan Johnson trilogy? Or are we going to get something completely different?
I think the answer to is it going to be one of those two directors that you mentioned movies?
Hmm.
I believe they did come out and say it's not. It's not going to
That's
be
right.
either one of
That's right.
those.
Yeah.
So there is that. I mean, the rumors that I've been seeing is it is either going to be a High Republic or Old Republic. Obviously, I mean, you're spot on. If you ask me, I'm going to say Old Republic all day.
Yeah.
It's a very fascinating time
Hmm.
period in the Star Wars universe that has really only been like played out in books and video games
Yeah.
that I think a lot of gamers that are into Star Wars would really like to see a movie adaptation of that.
Hmm.
Especially, I mean, just take a look at the like a massive approval of when well first when Revan from the Old Republic was taken out of canon and put
Yeah.
into Legends. When Episode 9 kind of brought him back into canon.
Hmm.
Um, like with all the backlash the last three movies got, that was like one of like the things that a lot of people praised it on was bringing Revan back into the mix.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like that is a good signal to Disney on why why they should explore the Old Republic.
Hmm.
Now, if you were to ask me my opinion, like my personal opinion of which way Disney's going to go, I would actually encourage them to go High Republic.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that they're already putting out a lot of content for the High Republic. They're
Hmm.
putting out books, they're putting out comics. There's a lot of focus currently on the High Republic. And unless you're looking to really go after the already established Star Wars fans,
Hmm.
if you're trying to reach out to that younger generation and really solidify their fandom for life,
Hmm.
you'd go High Republic. But if you are looking to do the Old Republic, you'd be really focusing on the people who are already Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
And I feel like Disney wants to kind of continue into the new generation of bringing them into the fandom. I'm not saying they're not eventually going to do an Old Republic movie,
Hmm.
but I feel like this would be a really great opportunity to kind of bring people into this new era that was introduced a year or two ago
Hmm.
into the Star Wars realm. So I personally think they should do High Republic, but I would absolutely love if they did Old Republic.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I would love to see Old Republic done because that's something that you and I grew up with as well. Like we played both of those games, and you play the Old Republic MMO, and you and I are big fans of Revan and everything. But I think you're right. I think if I'm Disney and Lucasfilm here, I go the High Republic route and maybe take the gamble on the Old Republic thing after the High Republic thing plays out just a little bit. Now, for a High Republic movie, you I wouldn't say adapt. like Light of the Jedi or The Rising Storm or anything like that. I mean, I would tell like a brand new original story set within the High Republic. You know, bring some of these characters from the books and the comics into this movie, but tell like a brand new story here. As far as directors goes, I'd love to see Ron Howard come back and do another Star Wars movie because of Solo. I mean, I know that you are kind of on the opposite end of Solo, which is fine. But
Like I'm not a Solo hater.
yeah,
I just uh, like in comparison, like Rogue One to me
no, yeah,
was way better.
no,
Like I get the hype around Solo. Like I do. I would love to see more of Solo.
mhm,
But like I I don't know. I guess I just don't quite understand the whole like Solo 2 like
yeah,
culture out there, I guess.
that's fine. Um, but I would also love to see Gareth Edwards from Rogue One come back
Yeah.
and do another movie. And I think High Republic or Old Republic would be perfect for them. Especially Gareth Edwards because he showed you he can do two very big movies with Godzilla and with Rogue One.
Mhm.
Um, and Ron Howard has shown you that he can do big movies too. So I mean, but we've already known that Ron Howard can do a big movie because I mean the guy works with Tom Hanks. It seems like every freaking week on something
Yeah,
different.
it really does.
So I want to move on here. Um, I think that so we're saying that the High Republic will be first. Do you think they'll shoot for that 2023 release date?
My worry would be that they rush it
Yeah.
and they're not able to actually think through the
Hmm.
movie and the actual story they want to tell.
Hmm.
I think, as as much as I enjoyed watching 7, 8, and 9,
Hmm.
one of my biggest critiques is that it felt rushed.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want to see happen.
Hmm.
Um, whether you love the sequel trilogy or you don't and you have your own reasons for it, it's fine. Your everyone's opinion is valid.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that as a Star Wars fan that grew up, as a young kid watching, 4, 5, and 6, and then, coming of age with 1, 2, and 3,
Hmm.
um, they were able to tell a story.
Yeah.
And they were able to do it in a way that resonated with the viewer.
Hmm.
7, 8, and 9 just felt so rushed. And like I've heard that from new Star Wars fans, I've heard it from old Star Wars fans. So my concern would be is if Disney and Lucas are sitting here going, we want to fill this gap with something. Well, fine, that's great. Fill it, but fill it with something that's with an idea that's already been fleshed out, with an
Yeah.
idea that is going to work.
Hmm.
Don't just throw a movie together. Don't just throw a narrative plot together and say, "Hey, we're gonna go for it and see what happens."
Hmm.
That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one because as much as I would love to see another Star Wars movie around Christmas time because like I associate Christmas with Star Wars now because of the sequel trilogy and because of Rogue One. Um, I'm in the same boat with you. I don't want them to rush it because if they do rush it, especially with a High Republic movie and especially with as many fans, you have brand new Star Wars fans just because of the High Republic.
Mhm.
Just from reading books, comics, manga and listening to an audio drama. Like you have brand new fans with that. And of course, they're going to want to see it and they're going to be your biggest critics when it comes to that movie. Um, so I agree with you. Don't rush it, but give me a good enough script. If they do try to go for it, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing didn't start filming until fall next year if they do it. If they really go with that release window. I have a feeling they might just wait until 2024, but even then they've got another Avatar sequel that they're releasing. As much as I enjoy Avatar, as much as I enjoy the first movie, it's been too long for a sequel, in my opinion. But now, granted, I was all over Incredibles too. My wife just gave me a look. um,
just don't know where they're gonna go with Avatar 2.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Avatar 1 was such a finite ending
yeah,
that it's just like, okay, well, where do you go from here? Like,
yeah,
what's the storyline?
yeah, exactly. No, Jake Sully.
Yeah.
Um, so let's move on here to more movie news. And Kevin Feige's produced Star Wars movie. For those of you that don't know, Kevin Feige does run Marvel Studios for Disney, and he is actually working on a Star Wars movie. He's going to be producing a Star Wars movie. We saw a rumor this week of him approaching Eternals director Chloe Zhao to helm this Star Wars movie. Now, some people have said that that rumor is not true. Some people have said that the rumor is true. I don't I'm just looking at this as a rumor essentially, but I have not seen Eternals yet. You just saw it today. Just what do you think of Chloe Zhao doing a Star Wars movie, or should she do a Star Wars movie?
No, she should not,
Okay.
especially if she does it in the way that she did Eternals. Look, Eternals is almost a 3 hour long movie, and
Yeah.
that's a movie that should maybe be 2 hours,
Hmm.
maybe an hour and 50. Um, like I get it, like you're trying to tell a story, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like when you spend like the first hour and 40 minutes character building
Hmm.
and building on relationships, which spoiler alert, I don't know if you realize this, and just side note, I don't think this has ever happened in a Disney slash Marvel slash anything film before. That's related to Disney. They had a sex scene in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, that doesn't belong on movies or anything.
Hmm.
Like, to me, it doesn't bother me, but I don't expect that from a Disney slash Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of threw me. I'm like, one, you really didn't need it. Like, it wasn't a needed moment to
Hmm.
like you weren't trying to uh build the plot line of these two Eternals having a romantic relationship. I mean, they're holding hands and they're kissing through the first hour and a half of the movie. I think we all get it by now.
No.
Like, you didn't need to solidify it with a 30-second sex scene.
Yeah.
Um, so it was like it's decisions like that just didn't make sense and made the movie unnecessarily long. The
Hmm.
last hour was great. The last hour of the movie was fantastic.
Hmm.
Take the first hour and 40 minutes, make it a 45 to 50-minute thing, and you're just as good. You could easily do that. That's my big concern. And that's kind of her MO,
Yeah.
is that she wants to have those certain angles. She wants to have certain stories being told a certain way, even if it means a longer film. And that's fine in some cases. I don't think that would translate well for Star Wars. My own personal opinion, it might work. I could be completely wrong, and I would love to be wrong.
Yeah.
But based upon Eternals, I wouldn't be a fan of it.
Yeah. I've only read what I've read about the movie, without like really getting into spoilers, because like I haven't like really read anything like spoilery. I knew about
Mm.
the sex scene, like I knew like that was happening. But I honestly I can't weigh in on this because I haven't seen the movie. But I think it would be interesting to see it. However, I think Feige has the Russos. Like, I would love to see them do a Star Wars movie, especially after Endgame and Infinity War and the two installments of the Cap trilogy that they did. Like, I think that that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, give John Favreau that movie.
Give John Favreau every movie.
Yeah, and Dave Filoni.
Yes.
Like, just give them every Star Wars thing. Yeah, so I want to move on to just a quick thing here. Speaking of the High Republic from earlier, we have a new excerpt from Justina Ireland's new upcoming middle grade High Republic book, Mission to Disaster. This deals with Vernestra Rowe and her Padawan Imri, and it looks like Imri or Vernestra's having some more visions that she had like in Out of the Shadows and everything. It's a fun excerpt. I think I'm just waiting for the book. I know like you're kind of behind on on the High
Very
Republic just a
behind.
little bit. I know Abby is about to start reading the High Republic, especially Light of the Jedi, but uh, yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I mean, these middle grade novels have been pretty good as palate cleansers, especially Race to Crash Point Tower was a great palate cleanser for all of the crap that went down in the Rising Storm. Uh, that's all I'm gonna say. So let's move on to our two main topics here for the night, and that is we had Disney Plus Day yesterday, which Abby and I called it for Obi-Wan. We said we were only going to get the sizzle reel, and sure enough, we only got the sizzle reel. Disney Plus Day was kind of a letdown. I understand why they did it because it was a marketing thing and they wanted to get new subscribers and showcase a few things. And some of the stuff that they showed was fun, like the Baymax thing. I freaking loved that Baymax trailer. It was so funny. Um, but at the same time, they let us down. I mean, I see where a lot of people are saying that they let us down, especially as Star Wars fans. Like they could have shown a little bit of Bad Batch season 2 probably, like a teaser for that. And they could have also given us a brief teaser for Andor. I have a feeling though, like they're gonna do another investment day presentation like they did last year and give us a few more things like in December. And then a lot of people are now wondering when's Obi-Wan hitting. I think they're gonna wait until after Celebration to drop that first episode. And I think they drop it at the end of Celebration because you can bring in Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and anchor that celebration and then be like at the end of the celebration at the end of the whole event just be like, "Oh, by the way, you can now watch the first episode of Kenobi on Disney Plus."
Mic
So,
drop.
yeah, mic drop. So, how did you feel about Disney Plus Day in general?
If you are a hardcore Marvel fan, you're
Oh, yeah.
excited.
Yeah, you got
Um,
your cake and ate it too.
yeah, you got multiple cakes
Yeah.
and you ate all of them. Like
Yeah.
kudos to you.
Mhm.
The they're banking heavily on Disney Plus and Marvel just because of how well, like WandaVision and
Mhm.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier did.
Mhm.
Even though Falcon and the Winter Soldier got bad reviews in comparison to like WandaVision,
Mhm.
it still did very well.
Yes.
Um, like Marvel does well, like Disney gets it, like Star Wars does well also, but I feel like when you take a look at the two, Star Wars fans, for better or for worse, tend to be a lot more critical
Yes.
on how things are adapted to TV or to a movie versus Marvel. It's like, you know, it feels like you have so much more liberty to do things.
Mhm.
You can experiment with these characters and kind of like give them a different personality or have them kind of do something a little bit different here in a movie. And if it doesn't work, the movie still does well, then you can make those fine changes for the sequel if a sequel does come out, or if it's a standalone thing, or if it's a series.
Yeah.
It's something you can tweak in season 2. And a lot of people won't remember it if it's a series and you change it in season 2.
Yeah.
So I just feel like for Marvel, like you have to be happy. Like you're getting a
Mhm.
ton of stuff. And
Yeah.
it was a great day for Disney Plus if you're a Marvel fan.
Yeah, I agree. I think now don't get me wrong, a lot of the stuff that they announced for Marvel yesterday I was really excited for.
Oh, yeah,
But at one point I was thinking, are they just like throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks?
kind of.
Yeah, it feels like that. I mean, now granted, Spider-Man freshman year, I am so ready for that because I want to see like Peter Parker after like immediately after the spider bites him and like see him like become early Spider-Man. Marvel
Kind of like in
Zombies,
the in the Tobey Maguire
yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like using Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Marvel Zombies, honestly, I could care less. I'm not a zombie fan.
That's the one that gave me that feeling of like, okay, now you're just trying
Yeah,
too hard. Like you're trying to see what works and what doesn't work.
yeah.
Like that to me was like, really a stretch to
Yeah.
make something happen. I was not having that one.
No, I really wasn't happy about that one. What if season two getting greenlit? I think we all saw that coming because of how popular that was. Now, granted, I wasn't that much of a fan of What If season one.
I didn't like it at all. Like
Yeah,
I thought it was. I just I like the idea of like alternate ways the story could play out. Like alternate history novels, I think are very fascinating.
yes.
But the whole What If series, I found more frustration than anything else in them.
Yeah, I think the strongest episodes were the first two episodes of the series. And
The
that
first
was
episode drove me up a wall.
um yeah, I can see why, but like the T'Challa as Star-Lord one is my favorite. And plus it was Chadwick Boseman just being Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah,
And it was great. And for that to be one of his last times as T'Challa, it was perfect. Uh,
agreed.
I I also loved that they brought in Kurt Russell to be Ego for like the brief 30 seconds at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Uh, while Peter Quill is working at a Dairy Queen in Missouri. Uh, but yeah, if you were a Marvel fan yesterday, you ate very well. If you were a Disney fan yesterday, just a Disney fan in general, you ate very well.
Yeah.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers reboot was starring Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. That might actually be really good.
If that's not rated R, I don't like it. It should be with those two in it. Like, I
Yes.
mean, that needs to have like some raunchy. It's not going to happen. I know that,
No.
but like just with those two, it feels like it feels like it may have a tendency to maybe have like an edgy joke or two. But
Yeah.
it was an interesting cast.
Well, I gotta tell you, like, my favorite John Mulaney role is him as Spider Ham and Into the Spider Verse.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he's great in that movie and he's so funny as Peter Porker, the Spider Ham. Um, so you got that. The Baymax thing, of course, and then we got. Uh, Now, granted, I know you love this movie. My wife loves this movie. A lot of people love this movie. Hocus Pocus. We did see the first still from the sequel to that.
Let's go.
I am not a fan of that movie. I think it's because I watched it too late because I only saw it like for the first time like 3 years ago, right? For the
Oh,
25th anniversary. So like when we saw it like re-released in theaters, I was like, "All right, I'm going to go into this with an open mind." And like the first few jokes of the movie, like when she says, "Oh, look, another glorious morning," it makes me sick. That makes me laugh like every time. And then seeing young McGee from NCIS in that movie, that makes me laugh too. But I've also got to tell you, like, was it TikTok or Instagram that had the Hocus Pocus like cast like then versus now? The guy that plays like the head bully that kept calling the kid Hollywood has not aged well at all.
no.
No, he has not aged well at all. And I'm like, well, if they bring this guy in, you know it's gonna be bad. So we had that, and then we have a sequel to Enchanted coming out, which if you've never seen the first Enchanted, you should because it's Disney making fun of themselves for about an hour and 45 minutes. And
Oh,
James
I mean, I've never
Marsden.
seen it.
Oh, it's funny. And James Marsden as Prince Charming is hysterical because he's like he keeps yelling Amy Adams' character's name like the entire time. He's like, Giselle, Giselle, and then like he's like trying to sing to her and everything. It's funny. So yeah, if you were a Disney fan, a Pixar fan, and a Marvel fan yesterday, you ate really well. Star Wars fans, I gotta tell you,
We're hungry.
we are hungry. But I gotta tell you, like the amount of people that were blowing up the comments on the Twitter feeds yesterday Like everything they announced yesterday, people were like, "Well, where's Kenobi? Where's Kenobi? Where's Kenobi? Where's Kenobi?
I
Where's
thought it was
Kenobi?"
funny.
I thought it was funny for like the first like 5 minutes, and then like
Yeah.
it started getting really bad.
It's
Um,
like that and all the Darth Maul
yes,
gifts from Clone Wars, and like I was expecting Kenobi.
yeah, yeah,
That's like totally like a General Grievous voice. What am I doing?
yeah,
It's yeah, it was. I thought it was funny for a bit, but yeah, you're right. It got over. It
yeah.
got old real quick.
Um, but Lucasfilm always plays their cards to the chest for events like this.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're holding out for a lot of this stuff for Celebration because that's right around the corner in May. So
hmm
they're holding out for that. Um, do you have anything else to add for Disney Plus Day, or can we just move on?
The Disney Plus Day drop boxes that they had going out also that
Oh
was
yeah,
only available in like 5 major cities.
that's right.
Um, Managed to snag a couple using my friend's DC apartment address. Um, if you are mad that you did not get a Disney Day Plus Dropbox, um, don't be mad. They're crap. Sorry, Eric.
No, it's fine.
They they are they are not very good. What was it? Mine had so I ended up getting like a Little Mermaid box. Like I'm
Okay.
not expecting anything like legit in there.
Yeah.
It was a Little Mermaid oven mitt and pot holder.
Okay.
Um, it was uh a holographic card
Okay.
that had Ariel swimming. It was a stationary set, a collectible pin, which I mean, if you collect pins, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, it was a Little Mermaid necklace, and then a Little Mermaid Rubik's cube, an
Okay.
acrylic thing of Little Mermaid, and then the biggest and bestest part of the box, the edible glitter,
Yes.
was in there as well. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, glitter's terrible to begin with, but now you can eat it. I'm just like, yeah, it's no, Mm-mm. No,
Yeah, and then
not worth.
Joey just bombed chat by saying cute. That'll get your fins flipping.
Oh God, time him out, get him out of here.
Yeah, Joey,
Just
you're done. You're done, bud.
Joey puns.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm glad I didn't get a Disney Plus Day Dropbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the thing that I entered the contest for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're like, yeah, it doesn't ship to your area. Like now that I hear it, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. So they send it to you via DoorDash. Sounds like you corralled and oh,
Corralled in quite the loot.
I'm gonna smack him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna smack him.
I'll
I know
drive to
where he
his house
lives.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'll meet you there.
I'll send you his address.
Yeah, yeah, we'll smack him together.
Well, we'll just dox him real quick. Let me get my cell phone here.
Don't
Its
be
address is no.
shellfish about your box, sir. Joey, you're making me sick, dude. He got a Little Mermaid themed box for Disney Plus Day. Yeah. I know you want a Little Mermaid themed box because that's like one of your favorite Disney movies. It comes with edible glitter. Yeah. Anyway,
Ugh.
so so let's move on to our main topic, which is going to be a little event that's happening next week, in which our very own Kaylin Kelly will be attending. Destination D23. This is going to be at Disney's Contemporary Resort, which is right next to the Magic Kingdom at Disney World in Orlando. We're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Disney World throughout this event. It looks like. You check the schedule because I sent you the link to it. Anything really standing out to you when it comes to this schedule? And then, like, I can go through the schedule as well if you want.
Um, One of the things I thought was kind of cool is the 50 years of Imagineering,
Yeah.
kind of going through like their process over the past 50 years and how it's evolved over 50 years of how like they create the magic that they bring to Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Hmm.
I thought that was really cool. The Fantasia Ballroom,
Yes.
uh, I think that's really cool because Fantasia was like one of those movies that I watched as a kid that like really got me into Disney. I thought that was really, really cool. So that one piqued my interest. But like, um, I mean, obviously the one that really gets me is the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yes.
So let's be real here. We'll just cut straight to that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to know why you're demanding $5,000 for 2 nights. And it better be a damn good reason.
I can see you and like five other people standing in line, just like just harassing Ashley Eckstein about why it's $5,000.
Like it better come with like an Ewok that's gonna give you a bubble bath every day and everything else too. Like have a sponge and everything. I'm sorry. To me, that is just absolutely ridiculous
Yeah, it is.
for a 2 night stay. Like I get it, it's all immersive, blah 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 blah. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It really is, and it feels like because they've always said like they wanted Disney World and like Disneyland to be affordable for most people, right? This is not affordable for most people. Like this is like high end. Like you have to be a Club 33 member to pretty much be able to afford this thing. Um
Yeah.
this is the panel that I'm looking forward to the most because I want to see Ashley Eckstein run this thing. However, I mean, and we'll get a lot of information from it, but yeah, I can't. We've talked about this before. We can't justify the price for this thing. I mean, you cannot justify the price for this thing. I mean, I'd rather take like 5 VIP tours that are like 7 grand, you know, than to do this.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it
that's
is.
that's like $70,000. I
I
don't know.
know, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
if I'm gonna spend that money, I'll just wait and take a VIP tour, for a
No,
day.
I mean, you have a point. Like
Yeah.
the fact that it's already booked for like the first 3 months it's opened. Like, yeah, obviously people are going to be excited
Hmm.
to experience it. And like we've joked about like selling our kidneys and whatnot to
Oh
get the
yeah.
money to go do it. But I would be honestly curious in like a 1 year time frame. I would love to see the numbers if it's actually sustainable, if the numbers actually continue to grow, if the demand is still there once
Hmm.
these real life reviews finally come out from like your normal park goer. Like, is this thing a legit thing to do? And like, look,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like if it comes out and people are like, this is like the most immersive thing any Star Wars fan could have, it was
Hmm.
absolutely fantastic and blah 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 blah, and like it, and that is like what it is for like a full year
Hmm.
of like positive reviews and people saying like it's the best thing ever.
Hmm.
uh, then I might start to be like, maybe if there's a payment plan I could do it.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah. I mean, I think after those first 3 months, you're gonna see a big drop. I
yeah,
think like you're gonna see a big drop when it comes to people booking their cruise on this, to the point where they might drop that price considerably just to get
they need
people.
to.
Yeah, just to get people in there. I wouldn't be surprised if at one point, like say in the first 6 months, they drop it $2,000. Well, maybe after a year
I
they
mean,
drop it 2,000.
maybe to kind of think of, so it's 2 days
Yeah,
and you get access to Hollywood Studios for like what, 4 hours.
it's like
um
4.5. Yeah.
so it's so
I
I
mean,
don't know. Like, I guess if you enjoy cruises that are like super structured and that kind of like idea,
yeah.
but like, I just to me, if I'm going to go to Walt Disney World, one like okay, so I stayed at the Caribbean Bay or the Caribbean Beach Resort.
Hmm.
We didn't do a dang thing there the entire 3 days we were there
Hmm.
at the resort. Like we slept. Like
Yeah.
that's literally all you did.
Yeah.
Like you're there to go to the amusement park to have that experience.
Hmm.
Um, like if I'm gonna go down to Orlando, I don't want to be stuck inside of a fake Star Cruiser
Yeah.
for 2 days. Like I don't know. To me, it's like it just feels like it's missing something big at that price point.
No, it really is. Like if it was a week-long experience at that price point, I would
Yeah.
justify paying it. Even if it was like 5 days at that price point, I would justify paying it. But something where if it's cheaper for me to stay a week at Caribbean Beach Resort and do a week at parks, then I'm gonna do a week at Caribbean Beach Resort and do a week at parks.
Which 100% it is going to be cheaper because
Yeah,
you get a discount if you buy multiple days. Look at that.
exactly.
Look
You
at
do.
that.
You do. And then like think of the people that are probably planning to go there for an entire week. So not only are you booking the Star Cruiser, but then you have to worry about booking another hotel on property if you plan on staying on property too. And those hotels are not cheap.
No, they're ridiculous.
Yeah,
Absolutely
they're
ridiculous.
nice hotels, but they are not cheap. I think the smallest amount we paid was Caribbean Beach for our honeymoon. And that's because I got a 30% off discount because that's what
Woo.
they were running at that time. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see those initial reviews, but I wouldn't be surprised within a year those prices drop because they're just trying to get people there. And then the whole Batu thing, now guaranteed you're guaranteed able to ride Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, which is perfect because you'll get boarding groups for that. But what if you want to build a lightsaber? That's a 30-minute experience right there. That I mean, and heaven forbid Savi's is running behind
Yeah.
because and they normally do throughout the
Mm.
day. They normally run behind. It's not by a lot, but they run behind. And then you have lunch planned for you too at Talking Bay 7. And then what if you want to do Ogas? You have to plan for 45 minutes right there, at
Now I know
least.
the other thing too is I do know they have a cantina or a bar or a lounge, whatever they're going to call it,
Hmm.
um, on the Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
But it's from the drawings and the renderings I've seen. Eric, you'll agree with me here.
Hmm.
Oga is a million times better.
I
Like
agree.
that's the atmosphere you want to be
Oh,
in.
yeah.
It's literally run by
A gangster.
Oga, who's a like smuggler or something.
Yeah. She's a
Like
gangster.
there you go.
Yeah.
Like come on, who doesn't want to do that? Come on.
I mean, and this is a seedy bar. And that's the type of bar you want to go to in Star Wars, is a
Yeah.
seedy cantina. Um, So, I mean, I think that's the panel that we're looking forward to the most. I saw that on Friday they're actually doing um, screenings of Encanto before the movie even comes out, and the
That'd be
following
awesome.
week. They're doing that at Disney Springs, which is pretty cool. Looks like they're going to have some exclusive merch as well. So let me just go down the schedule here because we talked about Galactic Star Cruiser. So it looks like a lot of the stuff is going to be happening in the Fantasia Ballroom. Uh, and some of the stuff, Mickey's of Glendale shopping is going to be opening at the Ballroom of the Americas. You have your Seven Seas Marketplace, which is pretty much going to be where you can get the rest of your swag. That's in the West Rotunda. So at 9, so let's see here, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., you have Destination D23 Welcome, Connections, a look back or look at the future of Disney parks, experiences, and products. So that's going to be telling you everything that's coming to not only Walt Disney World, but Disneyland and the other subsequent parks. You're going to have Weird Disney World. This fan favorite, Weird Disney, returns as director of the Walt Disney Archives. Becky Klein digs into Disney history to bring you half a century of the wildest and wacky Disney World moments, which would be interesting. A Walt Disney World trivia challenge. So how well do you know Walt Disney World? We'll put our audience to the test. That one could be fun. Um, Planes, trains, and monorails, Walt Disney World on the move. That would be pretty interesting to see like the evolution of Disney transportation and stuff. Walt's 70s World, that's going to be Disneyland in the 70s. You have your afternoon break for 2 hours, which is pretty much take a nap in your hotel room if you can, especially if you're staying at the Contemporary. Then you have 12 p.m. to 1:45, the Walt Disney Archives. That would be interesting to see like the archives and stuff. Uh, then at 2 p.m., your afternoon presentations, drawn to life inside Disney's first collaboration with Cirque du Soleil. So that's going to talk about them at Disney Springs and everything. World building for Galactic Star Cruiser, which Ashley Eckstein is leading that one. Magical entertainment of Walt Disney World, Walt Disney World Trivia Challenge, Art and Flair. The art and imagery of Walt Disney World, Walt 80s Worlds, and the park stars of Walt Disney World. This is the one that I would actually really like to see. This one is Figment, the Orange Bird, and Bonnie Appetite are just a few of the original characters created just for Disney parks. Join Imagineers Diana Brost and Jason Grant as they take you on a journey around Walt Disney World to meet many of the fun personalities that have appeared in attractions and shows from 1971 to today. I think that that would be pretty cool because there are some really interesting original characters and stuff. Then at 7 from 5 to 7 you have your evening break, and then at 7:30 you have music for Encanto, which should be really good. Sunday you have a pretty packed day here. Disney Plus download at Destination D23. So this is going to pretty much be what we should have had yesterday, essentially. On board the Disney Wish, this is another one that I would actually really see because that's the cruise ship that's going to have the Star Wars bar as well as the Avengers restaurants. Walt Disney World Trivia Challenge early years, the dawn of Disney World, so that's going to be about the opening. Afternoon break, and then from 2 to 5, Delicious Disney 50 Years of Walt Disney World. That's pretty much going to be about all the culinary creations and culinary history, which should be pretty cool. From the Vault, Merchandise Memories of Walt Disney World. Ashley Eckstein is leading another panel to talk about merchandise from Walt Disney World. That should be pretty interesting. Stories of the Walt Disney World Galleries. Walt Disney World Trivia Challenge Magical Melodies. So this is where every answer to your questions will be nothing can stop us now. Walt 90 Walt yeah, Walt Walt 90s World. So that'll like cover the 25th anniversary and all of that. Musical attractions of Walt Disney World, and then a fantastic finale where Kaylin and Dee Capella will be performing, as well as some other Broadway stars. And then at 7:30, you have Disney Plus Seasons Streaming's Ugly Sweater Party. Break out your ugliest sweater and join Disney Plus for the grand finale of an incredible weekend with a special holiday celebration that you can't miss. So pretty much you're going to get Home Alone on repeat throughout that entire party.
Or is it going to be the new Home Alone?
All three.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
I kind of want to watch it. I heard it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
Yeah. So besides Star Cruiser, what stands out? Because I kind of went through those pretty fast.
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
Walt 90s World, just because, it's the 90s. The 90s are the greatest decade ever. Fight me.
Yes.
So I think that'd be kind of cool. Obviously the Star Cruiser, we're not going to touch on that one again. Just anything with the Imagineers kind of like going through,
Yes.
50 years of bringing the magic to life kind of thing. I think is really, really cool. On, what was it? Saturday, the very first event, a look at the future of Disney parks, experiences, and products.
Yes.
I think that could be really, they're probably not going to say anything, but that could be really telling of what direction Disney's going to be looking at going forward in the next 20, 30 years.
Yes.
I'd be kind of curious to see what they actually say, going forward and what their plans are going to be for those parks.
Yeah, I think that at that panel they might actually tell us that the Mississippi deal is up when it comes to Marvel, and that you'll be able to see like Avengers characters in Walt Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll slowly move that away from Universal. That's like my dark horse prediction for that panel. Um, I think that you're going to see a lot more growth at Walt Disney World. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce a fifth theme park at some point, because I mean it's not like
Where
they
would they
don't.
put it?
It's not like they don't have the land.
Well, they almost put one in Manassas. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be in Manassas. I talked
Yeah,
to Bob Chapek.
they don't have that land anymore. They sold it.
Yeah, they did. Um, I think that one would be interesting. The Disney Wish one, I'm looking forward to because I love going on cruises, and like that ship is going to be incredible to see. I also I want to see this Disney Plus party.
It's all Marvel. That's all it's
Yeah,
going to be. Is just
it's all
Marvel.
Marvel. It's just Secret Invasion sizzle reels for like 2 hours.
All it's going to be is going to be like, oh, Star Wars. Oh, here's a sizzle reel of Obi-Wan Kenobi that we showed during Investor Day that we're now releasing to the public. Enjoy, have fun.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the same 1 minute footage over and over again for like 2+ hours.
don't get me wrong. Like I'd be
I mean,
completely
I'd
fine
watch
with
it
it.
too.
But,
I'd watch it too. But yeah, I mean, any predictions that you think?
people will be upset.
Yeah, people will be
People
upset.
always be upset.
Yeah.
I mean, I I don't know. Like I think the one that could have the biggest backlash is the Star Cruiser
Yes.
presentation, because if they don't do a better job at explaining why the price point is what it is, like if they don't give us more information
Hmm.
on what everything is included in that price point, because we saw the sample itinerary, it
Yeah.
does not look that great.
Nope.
The fact that you only have 4 hours in Batu, it just doesn't seem like you get a lot of time to do anything.
Yeah.
And for some people that might be fine.
Hmm.
But if you're trying to appeal to Star Wars fans, like Star Wars fans will spend money. Like
Yeah.
we will spend money. But it has to be for something that we can justify.
Yeah.
Building a lightsaber is stupid expensive, but I mean, Disney gets that, every kid's dream at one point in time, if they're a Star Wars fan, was to have their own lightsaber, and they're making bank off of it. Like, it makes sense. It's all metal. Like, this is a solid chunk of metal. It's metal. It's not plastic. Like, it's not those stupid flip lightsabers you had as a kid. Like, it's legit. Like,
Yeah.
give us something that's tangible like that and justify that price point.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think do you think we'll get do you think we'll get another Marvel announcement for the parks, or do you think they're going to wait
Probably.
until after Cosmic Rewind and see how well that does?
It would not surprise me if we get more Marvel announcements. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah. Now my question for that is there too much IP in the parks right now?
I'm going to say no, because the main reason is they have it pretty well spread out
Hmm.
among all 4 of the parks in Orlando.
Yes.
So Star Wars is in a Hollywood studio, and then the rest is like Disney IP. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Like traditional Disney IP. Except for like Tower of Terror, but that's not even a theme. It's just literally the hotel, and that's it.
Yeah.
And Animal Kingdom, it's Pandora and Avatar, and then the rest is normal Disney IP.
Yeah.
Um, Epcot is
A mess.
it's a hot mess, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. I think that's probably my least favorite laid out park.
Yeah.
But I get why they did it, because like having that center focal point of the lake is really cool. And then you have the Epcot ball, which looks really cool when it's lit up.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it takes forever to get around that dang park.
Yeah.
But like that has original IP in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now if Hollywood Studios was Pandora, Star Wars, Avenger Campus,
Mm-hmm.
and anything else that's like that, then yeah, I would argue that's a lot of IP for one place. Like that
Mm-hmm.
park would instantly become the flagship park
Yeah.
of Disney because of all those IPs are there. Obviously, they're spread out, makes you buy multiple parks, makes you buy park hoppers, makes you stay extra days. So it's smart of them to do that. I don't think they have too much IP because it's spread out,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, I really think I don't think it's too bad at this point.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that we're going to see more IP come into the parks, but I think
Oh
you're
yeah.
right where we're going to see it spread out. Now, when it comes to the whole my prediction of the Mississippi deal finally ending, I really think Avengers Campus will probably come to Hollywood Studios at some point, because it's the park that makes the most sense for Avengers Campus. Now I know, like, for Cosmic Rewind, the whole point for that was they wanted it to be a Xandaran outpost because, of World Showcase at Epcot. They
Mhm.
wanted it to be a cultural exchange, which I think would be fine. If you're going to do a Marvel thing at Epcot, why not make a Wakandan embassy?
Yeah, you can do that too.
Or
But
you could put it in Animal Kingdom.
so I guess one of my big questions would be, where would you put the Marvel campus? Like, I'm looking at a satellite view of Hollywood Studios right now,
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up on
and
my phone.
unless you take away parking, which I don't think they want to do, um, there is a nice chunk of land that they have on the northwest side
Hmm.
that is just trees over by the Tower of Terror, back
Yeah.
behind there. But the problem you run into is most of that is backstage cast member area. You have
Yeah.
a lot of buildings for, cast members, engineers, maintenance, and everything else back there. You'd essentially have to open that area up to access that patch of land on the northwest corner of that property.
Yeah.
Um, the other option would be to build it across the highway there on World Drive and have like a pedestrian bridge that goes over there, and that'd be a terrible idea in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be.
Um, so and you can't go to the northeast because that's Epcot. So and you have a bunch of resorts there too. So
Yeah.
like you are actually getting kind of crunched for land unless you're trying to do like a full like redesign of the park where maybe you expand into those southeast areas of the land where there's currently wetlands that Walt loves so much, make that into parking lots, and then use some of the old parking lots and develop that into parkland.
Yeah, or you could, as much as I love Star Wars Launch Bay, you could tear that down and you could pretty much make that Avengers Campus there. Expand that out. That's an
Yeah.
animation courtyard, right? Just as long as it doesn't connect to Toy Story Land. Because I don't want another terrible transition from one land to another.
Are you kidding me? Buzz Lightyear has a place in Star Wars. It's absolutely fantastic walking out of Batuu and seeing Buzz Lightyear right there. It's space versus space. It makes complete sense. Sarcasm.
Yeah, I know.
Extreme sarcasm.
But, I mean, like, if you do Avengers Campus there, like, you would have to. do like buy Tower of Terror or buy in between Animation Courtyard and Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those are like your only two options, really, because you can't free up. You need more parking because of friggin' Star Cruiser, because that's happening. Um, I'll tell you how I really feel about that,
Good.
people.
Good.
And then,
Let the hate flow through you.
and like, I don't want to see it like connect to Toy Story Land at all because it just doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? Put it behind the American Adventure at Epcot. I don't give a shit anymore. Like,
You can take out the Frozen sing along. How about that? You
yeah,
just put it
yeah,
there.
exactly. I'd rather have the Mary Poppins thing that they friggin' scrapped for the UK pavilion. Um, so I mean, D23 is coming up. I guess we did our predictions and we did our preview. I know Kaylin's gonna try to come on the next week, even if it's for like 2 minutes, just to see, just to tell us how the event's going. Um,
They are rioting in Orlando right now.
yeah,
They are not happy.
yeah. They announced that it was a $10,000 price point for a basic cabin for Star Cruiser. They upped the price because of all the complaints.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you
So,
guys don't like $4,800? Here, try
yeah,
$7,800.
yeah, exactly. Uh, I'm gonna get you. Um,
Sorry, Mr. Mouse.
anyway, that's I think that's it. You know, it was. We mostly did this because of your Disney trip. You know, I wanted to talk to you about that Disney trip. It was so much fun. Um, join us next week as we go over the first day of D23 and whatever Star Wars news that we have. And real quick, our RPG show comes back on the 29th. It is a Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am going to keep telling you all about this because it is one of the most fun things that we do on this channel. They have John can tell you they all have a great time. I put you guys through the ringer the last session.
That was fun.
Yeah,
The last session was the first session. I feel like we irritated you by adding a gigantic robotic bunny to the
yeah,
group.
it's fine.
But other than that, yeah, the last one was pretty good.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna kill that bunny at some point.
You need to. It needs to go. It's so random. I love
It
it.
is. It is. But that will be on the 29th at 7 p.m. We are doing Stevie Palp's Cantina Rescue. I have been watching a ton of Bar Rescue to get ready for this event. And then in December, we'll let you know how that goes. But that's it for us. John, anything else to add before we go?
Cantina Rescue is going to be great. I already have several galactic approved and awarded dishes that we'll be serving, including my specialty of the lightsaber grilled shrimp.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fantastic.
Yes, they're going to be a kebab, right? It's going to be on a lightsaber kebab.
Uh, you'll find out.
Okay, sounds good.
Tune in.
Yeah, tune in. That's it for us this week. I've got to go to bed. I've got to be up at 3 in the morning.
Oh, get out of
So,
here.
yeah, so that's it for us. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. We will see you next week. Abby will be back next week. Uh, we will talk to you all later. Have a